Breece Hall looking powerful. Breece Hall looking on track for week one. We talked about a news report yesterday that seemed to be a little bit more, I don't know, bleak, but we said pump the brakes. Those were opinion pieces. We need to wait for the actual coaching staff or head coach, in this case Salah, to say something about we're very optimistic Breece Hall will be ready for week one. Going on to say he looks good, strong, he looks powerful, and I fully believe this guy is going to be full go by week one. I mean, they may dial back his initial workload in weeks 1, 2, 3, just to make sure they don't have swelling. This type of injury, an ACL injury, does oftentimes have an RB getting some sort of like swelling situation going on the first couple weeks back because the knee's getting traumatized. It hasn't been cutting and getting hit before because you're really cautious walking into the first, the first cuts you make, and nobody throws an ACL recovered running back into contact any earlier than they need to. But that does present a problem on week 1, week 2, week 3 with some initial swelling. But past that, I do believe Breece Hall's clean ACL tear is going to be one of the exceptions to the rule, because everyone's going to be worried about this being J.K. Dobbins, this being Barkley, but they're completely different situations. Every situation is different. This is more likely to be Adrian Peterson, like not 2,000 yards, not saying the actual production, but the amazing recovery. Way more likely to be that than to be the J.K. Dobbins or Barkley route at this stage in the game. We're talking about that, taking your phone calls, taking your super chats, taking your voicemails. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now, pal.
The FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So, very, very excited by this news today that suggests that Breece Hall is looking not just on track for week one, but Salah saying things like powerful. He's looking good. Let me read the exact quote to you guys so you can hear what Salah said. Very optimistic that Breece Hall will be ready for week number one. And Salah went on to say, you don't want to go too fast with an ACL, Salah said, which is true. But it looks strong. But he looks strong. He looks powerful. When it doesn't seem Hall will be ready to go for the start of training camp, Salah seems confident that second year back will be able to suit up for the Jets season opener against the Bills, which fully expect to be the case. I would venture to say that Breece Hall is looking like a top, if I had to guess ADP-wise in August, I would say he's going to be a top 15 pick. I wouldn't be shocked if he was going 13, 14, 12, some people taking him 12. I don't want any of you to do that. Please don't do that. That is not a smart move, considering that you can steal him away. Sometimes at the top of round 3, but a lot of times Breece Hall is going to linger into the fourth round or the second round, and that's to be expected, and that's where you should buy in. That's where the value is actually very low risk. If you start digging into, borderline first round value, you're playing with a lot of risk, and you don't have a lot of ceiling value. You want to make sure you're swinging where Breece Hall can be your second drafted player. As your second drafted player, Breece Hall could win you a league. Even coming off an ACL tear. This Moon Man right here.
The Moon Man, dropping loads in outer space.
This Moon Man right here, Breece Hall, can win you a league from the second round. If you draft him in round 1 getting excited, you're not packaging in a slow start. You're going to be coming to me in the middle of week 1. In the middle of week 1. 2 quarters will have played. You'll Smitty, he's got 4 carries. He's got 7 yards a carry, but he's got 4 carries. He exits week number 1 with 80 yards. No touchdowns, no. And you're going to come to me and say, Smitty, did we make a mistake? No, we didn't make a mistake. You made a mistake because you didn't listen to me and you didn't package in any risk. Drafting Breece Hall in the second round packages in a lot of risk. We got a super chat already. This is from a monster here named Sir Isaac, and he says, to the moon. No, you to the moon, pal. The pleasure's all on this side of the table, Sir Isaac. I thank you for your super chat. I am ecstatic about Breece Hall, who's 8 foot tall, getting drafted in the 15 to 24 overall territory. Win a league, standing ovation. Sorry about the mess. I haven't cleaned up from yesterday. All the super chats from yesterday. Absolute gem. Absolute gem in the mid to second round. Anywhere in round 2, I'm accepting of it. I don't want you reaching to the top of round 2. I don't. For this man, Breece Hall.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece. He's Breece.
He does a hull of a job. A hull of a job. A hull of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon.
He does a hell of a job.
Get breeced.
Get breeced. You will not be sorry that you got breeced in 2023. Mark my words. We got almost a celebrity in the house today. Pal Derby. Pal Derby is an absolute monster. Appreciate Pal Derby being in the house. We got Paul Wolfer dropping super chats like there's no tomorrow. He says, BB Best Ball, how many fantasy football leagues are you in outside of your show? And not including BB. Outside of my show, nothing to do with my content at all, 1. Because I do so many leagues. It's my longtime buddy league. Two. Miss Smitty's work league. And which I got screwed on last year. Let's just put it out there. I got screwed out of that championship with the way the last season ended. Horse crap, son of a bee, commish that put my team, my Joseph cigar smoking Burrow team. I'm so upset. I should have smashed that league. I should have smashed it. The NFL did a piss poor job of finishing the season. Let's just be honest, okay? I'm not walking on eggshells anymore. They pissed the bed. They sharted their pants. The NFL screwed up royally. And I hope that never happens again. I should have won that league. Miss Smitty's work league. I was ready to roll. I was just smashing them to pieces. Let me see if I can pull up my team right now. My team was absolute monstrous. A monster team. I didn't even know who to start each week. It was so bad. And when I say so bad, I mean so good. The options were plentiful. The team was magnificent. Here was the team. Let's plug in. Let's plug in and look at the team as I try and completely take advantage of Miss Smitty's work league. And I couldn't close because my team wouldn't go on the field because Roger Goodell wasn't having it. He wasn't going to let my players play ball. I think I got some stuff going on that I got to show. I don't know if I can't even share my phone right now. Let me do some screenshots here. We got Pacheco, Waller, Dotson, guys like Swift, guys like that on the bench, but Burrow, JJ, Watson, Pollard, Walker, Kamara, we had a whole squad. I can't even share my screen right now. That's disappointing. Anyway, let's move on. We don't need to talk about the two leagues. Good question. 2 leagues, Miss Smitty's work league and my longtime buddy league that's been going for over 20 years. Very, very good question. And it looks like we got 5 gifted memberships from East Coast Tatty. What a man, East Coast Tatty. East Coast.
To the moon.
To the moon, pal. Appreciate you, East Coast Tatty, for dropping that 5 gifted membership. Paul, appreciate your super chat. Back to Breece Hall real quick, who's 8 foot tall, confirmed. 8 foot tall. This man will not disappoint when he runs the ball. and you must own them in 2023. We got a couple other pieces of news. We'll go through a lot of Breece Hall. I want a lot of Breece Hall content today when we open the phone lines. I want to hear a lot of Breece Hall content. Okay, phone lines are open. Antonio Gibson, Commanders head coach Ron Rivera, said that Antonio Gibson has really shown his pass catching abilities in OTAs. This has been kind of a growing story and theme over the last month, I'd say. And, we always buy into this guy. I'm not saying it can't work out. I'm not saying he's not good value, but now that his value's climbing, will he become something of a risk eventually? Could be the case. Right now, his ADP on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty, and that's where we do our live drafts. Not tonight, but tomorrow night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every single Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Well, first, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. every day, live whenever news breaks. But our draft marathon weekend is going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And as we get closer to the season, we'll make it more of a marathon. It'll be a dose of drafts and mock drafts. So the word marathon, I know, sounds a little bit loosely used right now. Like, Smitty, you're tossing that around like it's a 10-week-old ham sandwich. The loose term of marathon becomes actual marathon like when we start doing these monster, mock draft sessions. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but that's every single week from now until the start of the season. So if you ask, hey, Smitty, we drafted tonight, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Smitty, we drafted tonight, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's when we draft. 3 days in a row, every single week, midnight Eastern, daily uploads, Tuesday Panic Chamber. That is the schedule. On Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty, where you'll get a match of $100 in your first deposit if you use promo code Smitty, or the link in the description, or the link I'm about to drop in the live chat right now. Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. You got to sign up ahead of time, or you're not going to get into the drafts that we do on said Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Link has been dropped. Droppage has occurred. Click the link in the live chat. Click the link in the description of every video, or use promo code Smitty and get that $100 up to $100 bonus match, or deposit the minimum of 10 and get $10 and then get $20 to play with, and all you did was drop 10. Go do it now. Get ready. Don't miss out and go, oh, Smitty, how do I get in here when we're drafting on Thursday, Friday, Saturday? And I say, did you click the link, Bob? Did you sign up ahead of time, Bob? Or did you drop the ball like we knew you would, because you're like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Just like you were going to take the trash out later. Just like you were going to pay the mortgage later. And the missus is going to come knocking on the door saying, are you drafting in the bathroom again, Bob? Do you got the iPad on your lap? Or is the toilet seat closed and you're sitting on top of it pretending to take a deuce while you're drafting with Smitty and the boys? But you didn't get in, did you, Bob? Bob, you didn't get in, did you? Because you didn't click the link. I heard Smitty tell you the night before to click the link, Bob. And now you're sitting on the can and you can't even get into the draft, Bob. Shameful sequence of events I just mapped out. For a lot of you, it's going to happen because you didn't click the link now. Rivera, we've been teased before about this. And I'm not too sure I'm buying into it. But I will say, if his ADP stays where it's at, I don't mind it. I can get behind it. I don't think it's a big deal at all. I think grabbing Gibby isn't a bad idea at all at 117 overall. Big deal. 117 overall is not high draft capital. If you want to spend that on Gibby, go ahead. You want to spend that on McKinnon, I'm actually a little more okay with McKinnon at that territory, to be honest. That's just my opinion. He's going at 128. Kendre Miller, 133. You can get the best of both worlds. Roshan, I'd rather have Roshan than Gibby. I'd rather have McKinnon than Gibby, but Gibby is right above those guys, so you technically could get, both. You could get all these guys. You don't have to actually choose one. But I would prefer to have McKinnon, Roshan, maybe Kendre Miller over Gibby. Tank Bigsby potentially. Like when you get down to like Spears and Jerome Ford and Chuba Hubbard and even Kenneth Gainwell, who I think could have value, but he's still like third on the pecking order potentially. Zach Evans, a backup. I'd much rather have Gibson over those guys. Gibson can get you 40, 50 passes. But if Gibson climbs into, let's see, Gibby's at, what do we say? Gibson's at 117. If he climbs up above, so he's below Brian Robinson below A-Chain, below P. Ryan, below Penny, below Kamara, Charbonnet, James Cook. If he climbs up to Kamara, Charbonnet, and Javonte, I'm out. I'm not taking Gibby at that territory. And we're talking Gibby. We're talking Gibson, Antonio Gibson. Not Gibby, our boy Gibby, our new boy Gibby, this boy Gibby. But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10. In case you didn't know. So that's the Gibby news right here. We do have I saw the Deshaun Watson or Cleveland Brown, Hopkins situation. We'll break that down in a second. Salah also said that Aaron Rodgers would be limited during Wednesday's OTAs. He'll be limited during Wednesday's OTAs, not during all of OTAs or be out a while. So let's pump the brakes on freaking out about A-Rod. He's an older guy. We don't want him to, bust a tire, and not be able to get out there and do Aaron Rodgers type things. Let me see if we got the Dalton Kincaid news yesterday, which should pump the brakes on his ADP climb, which in a sense will be good. It's good, and it's also bad that we're not hearing like, oh my God, this guy's tearing up you always want to hear this guy's tearing up camp. You always want to hear it. You always want to hear this kid is light years ahead of his time. And so we didn't hear that. So that's the negative. You could say, is there a negative to this? Yeah, I mean, the negative is we wanted to hear something amazing. Doesn't mean it won't happen. Doesn't mean that we're not going to hear that 2 weeks from now. But, that would be the takeaway, the negative takeaway. But this right here could bump his ADP down quite a bit. In fact, I'm already seeing people shy away from making him the number one tight end on their roster now, which is great. And you should be planning for an Okonkwo, a Cole Kmet, and then coupling that player with Kincaid. That way you have a combination. And he's more of a weight. Garrett Morris dropping a $2 hauler. This guy, mental picture. This guy with the gorilla and drop your own emoji, Garrett. Drop your own emoji. What are you doing? This is Garrett's emoji right here. Right there. Oh, no, that's not it. Hold on. I got to get into the live stream again. I clicked out. Let me click into the live chat here. Here we go. Garrett, this is your emoji, pal. Garrett is the highest super chatter in a single live stream on the year. Ron Navy has the highest super chat ever of a 765. Aloha had it just a little while ago. Then DW had it. Now $600 is held by Garrett, which I'm going to change this down here. Garrett holds that high super chat of the year down at the bottom there. Garrett, $600. Ron, $765 in a single live stream. Amazing that the highest super chat in a single year for 2023, or a single live stream in this year of 2023, is close to Ron Navy's total, which is insane. Garrett, appreciate you. Garrett to the moon. East Coast Tatty with the droppage earlier. Appreciate both of you. And Ron Navy just for being Ron Navy. All of you are amazing. Everybody in here. Even just the guys dropping emojis like Klondike and Thomas and D-Class and Mealy and Electro and Jake the Snake in the building. Jake, where you been? Jake the Snake back in the building. Stormcat, love having everybody here. The Ryan, appreciate you all. So Kincaid, we got that news. Let me go ahead and DeAndre Hopkins. Let's see here. Ravens are pursuing free. Let me read this. Let me put this on screen here, and then I'll go to the other DeAndre Hopkins news. There is a little bit of DeAndre Hopkins buzz circling around news wires right now. A lot of it is speculation. These are all spec pieces. Nobody has a whole lot of information. And keep in mind that DeAndre Hopkins was cut yesterday. He wasn't cut Friday like the report was suggested earlier. This is a guy. Let me see. Where's this Browns report? I think it might be. Let me see if I can find it. I thought I had it on my screen here. So it would be probably under Watson. I think it was attached to Deshaun Watson. But this is the report on Hopkins that suggests that The Athletic, of course, it's always The Athletic, that the Ravens pursuing free agent wide receiver Hopkins is a no-brainer. Contract demands and team chemistry questions be damned. Just an opinion piece. But The Athletic's always quoted by CBS, NBC Sports. Does anybody know if The Athletic is owned by NBC Sports? Is that why it's always referenced? It's always referenced by NBC Sports. I don't know, but it's always these opinion pieces. Browns restructured Deshaun Watson's contract, trying to find this Hopkins piece. There is some potential rumor. There's some rumors going around that the Browns and Hopkins could be something in the works, or it could be something that's very, very much closer to happening than people think. But everybody's spreading these rumors around, and a lot of people are I don't want to say running their mouth without having any evidence, but I think a lot of people are saying this would be a good fit. They'd be crazy not to. And then people are like building reports off that, and then no one really knows the origination of it all. But there is some potential spec right now that the Browns are in the mix. Like, they've got a foot in the door for sure. And Deshaun Watson, Watson was interviewed. That's what it was. Yesterday, Watson was interviewed, and they said, how are you and Hopkins? He's like, that's my boy. We keep in touch. But it's not up to him that a deal could get done, but they certainly would love to have him come in. I think that's where it generated from. I don't even know that there's any interest necessarily from Hopkins yet. There could be. There's said to be, but we haven't heard from him specifically. So I don't know. The Patrick, you're on the line, pal. What's up? You're live.
I don't know if you found it, but the little bit of 2+2 that everybody's doing about Hopkins to Cleveland is come tomorrow. The Browns are going to get $11 million in cap space because Javadian Clowney and John Johnson, our free safety, is going to be free agents, and then we lose that money. We get the $11 million back on our cap space. That puts us at 16. And also, I think you covered this the other day. Hopkins just hired a Cleveland-based agent that also represents 2 or 3 different players that are already on the Browns. And, of course, Hopkins and Watson's history. And I think this past weekend he was seen at a well-known restaurant in Cleveland. So that's the 2+2 that everybody's doing.
The 2+2, though, equals for every team, though, in terms of the money being freed up because of the June 1st cuts. So tomorrow they'll be off. Yeah. But, there are a lot of Hopkins photos being places that are being reported everywhere. There are a lot of old photos. There's a lot of meme action going on Twitter. There was a report about Hopkins being at an airport a couple days ago on Twitter. It was an old photo. It wasn't even Hopkins. I don't think it was. This is like a much bigger dude. And he was sitting there leaning on a counter, and everyone was spreading that photo around. So I'm not saying he wasn't in that restaurant, but there are a lot of people spreading a lot of rumors that Hopkins is in all these different locations. And it's almost like Elvis. It's like everyone's reporting something. I think that Deshaun Watson getting Hopkins will be phenomenal for Deshaun Watson. Phenomenal. And he wouldn't be anywhere near the big boys. He wouldn't be sitting at the big boy table, but he certainly would be right with the Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson group. And that's just adjusting. Yeah. That's adjusting and adapting. You don't hold on. You don't dig your heels in and hold on to old predictions. Right now, Watson doesn't have that. Right now, Watson's not at that table, sitting with those gentlemen. He's not. He didn't prove enough at the end of last year to have this vaulted up value walking into 2023. If he gets Hopkins, though, that's a whole different ball game. We have to approach it from a whole different angle. But I don't know that that's been the lead dog landing spot, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, nor was there a lot going on anyway, because I don't know how the NFL news world didn't release that information that Hopkins wasn't cut and wouldn't be cut until Tuesday. And we all didn't know that because we're listening to We only get so much, factual information. We hear it from Adam Schefter, and so when we're all sitting here thinking Hopkins is already cut, and the Memorial Day holiday, put a delay on the actual transactions being processed until Tuesday instead of Friday. And so he hasn't had a chance to do what everybody thought he's had a chance to do. So that's all happening right now. He's meeting with teams, or he's having conversations. He's probably
the key thing that does matter though is that he was still officially released before the 1st. So the back end of that contract, the Cardinals are still taking the hit on that.
Yeah, the Cardinals don't want to divide it up over 2 years. The Cardinals want to release him before June 1. They did, so that the Cardinals can take their lumps in 2023, because it's a wasted year. They want to have as much money as possible for 2024. The Chicago Bears did the same thing. They cut everybody. They started running a skeleton crew, and they wanted to take all their lumps in 2022. And they did. I mean, they almost broke Fields trying to do that. And now look what Chicago's able to do. They've freed up everything. This is the rebuild year. They look phenomenal. It's
I agree.
It's exactly what the Cardinals.
Dorsey method.
But the question is, who's worse? And I can say this with a straight face. I'm not blind to it. I'm not some kind of that my fandom doesn't get involved like some idiot. The Cardinals are going to be the worst team. One of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the NFL in 2023. Plain and simple. And I'm accepting of it. And I think Buck fans, the Bucks are going to be probably one of the worst teams in the National Football League. The Raiders are going to be one of the worst teams in the National Football League. Who's getting Caleb Williams? Is it the Cardinals, the Bucks, or the Raiders? Because these are probably, I know I'm leaving somebody out, but these are probably the 3 worst teams in the National Football League. I watched Baker Mayfield and Trask try and throw 12-yard passes yesterday. Jimmy G throws better passes than these two gentlemen right now, according to my eyeballs. I was shocked at how bad Baker Mayfield and Trask looked. I'm deathly afraid of the Rachaad White shares that I have right now. I am completely just disgusted with my Mike Evans shares, which I thought might be, and they still could be. They still could be down so much that they just keep throwing to Mike Evans over and over. And Mike Evans could get traded. Godwin could get traded. This team's going to be so awful that Godwin and Evans might both be traded, or one of them will be traded, and maybe that's a saving grace. And their ADPs are ridiculously good. So it's not like Mike Evans and Godwin are the biggest risks in the world. But it's an arms race for who is the worst team in the National Football League. The Jimmy G, no thumb Jimmy G led Raiders, and he might not even be on the team. The Arizona Cardinals, who have no Kyler Murray and probably don't want to bring him back because they want to take a dive. And I do too at this point. It's a wasted year anyway. Get Caleb, trade Kyler. That's what I've wanted all along. And then, I think there's a handful of teams that could be in the mix. I don't know who I'm leaving out. That's the worst team in the National Football League, but I think those are the 3. The Bucks, the Cardinals, the Raiders. I mean, am I missing a team? That seems to be the bottom 3, right?
It's hard to put this team that I'm going to say up there, but based off the strength of schedule and, just looking at their roster and the 6 games within their own division, along with the rest of their schedule, the Patriots might be down there hanging around the bottom 4 as well.
I could see it going either way. I could see them being like an 8-9 win team and not being playoff bound. But, to make the playoffs is going to be near impossible for the Patriots. That's a tough task. But I'd say the Texans will probably play better than people think. So they won't be at the bottom, but they'll be in rebuild mode. They won't make the playoffs, but they'll be a lot better. They'll be a lot better. They're doing good things. That GM knows what he's doing. That whole staff is putting together a nice little squad. They've got weapons. Stroud will be efficient enough to best the 3-13-1 record that the Texans had last year. So I think they're not the worst team.
The blessing that the Texans have as compared to the Patriots is that there is nobody in the AFC South. You could say the Jaguars, but can T. Law play catch up every single week like he did toward the end of last year? There is no set number one team in that division. As to where, I mean, besides the Texans, you think maybe the Jags, the Titans, even if Richardson comes in and surprises, even the Colts, I wouldn't rule out of winning that division. As to where the Patriots has absolutely zero chance at all they might go 0-6 in their own division.
Again, East Coast Taddy, thank you for the gifted memberships. We have a super chat right here from Johnny Not Bravo. It says, do I trade Walker, Kirk for Jackson Smith and Jigba? Is what I think he means there, and Gibbs. Do I trade Walker and Kirk for JSN and Gibbs? In a heartbeat. In a millisecond. I would, because I like Gibbs more. I love Walker. If you have Charbonnet and Walker, that could be equivalent to Gibbs potentially. You could argue either side, but you just have Walker. I love Walker. I'm not freaking out about owning only Walker if you already own him and you can't get your hands on Charbonnet. But Gibbs to me is a top 10 overall player in Dynasty. And JSN's no bum. So let's go ahead and take that Gibbs and Jackson Smith and Jigba side, and we'll call it a day.
Got him.
Okay, appreciate you, Johnny Not Bravo, dropping that. Yeah, this is going to be interesting, man. It's going to be really interesting who gets that number one overall pick, and I think the Cardinals would definitely trade out of the Kyler Murray situation if they did get their hands on the number one overall pick. Gannon doesn't have. I wouldn't be shocked if Gannon got fired by the end of the year. I'm not feeling Gannon. I'm not feeling he has a grasp over the situation. Nor do I feel like Gannon is somebody that. I don't know. I'm feeling that Gannon isn't somebody that is the right man for the job, so to speak, because he's a defensive-minded coach, and he's got no offense. You know what I mean? Like, that's the worst. That's like the worst combination you can have. Here's a defensive-minded coach, and you don't even have your offense put together. Bella, check yourself with a 9-month membership question. Thank you, Belichick, yourself for having a 9-month anniversary to celebrate here on the Fantasy Football Show and using your gifted member or your question here. Do not count the Patriots out. Belichick yourself says, I think to like an 8 or 9 win season, I think you're right. I don't know that they're the worst team in the league. I think the Cardinals and the Raiders and the Bucks are going to be the lead dogs for that. So I agree that don't count them out, but I don't think they're winning the division. And to win a wild card is so hard. It's going to be so hard for them to win a wild card spot. There's too many good teams. I mean, you look at like if I had to break it down real quick, let me break it down real quick. I'll say, so I think the Buffalo Bills, the Dolphins, or the Jets are winning the division. I mean, anything's possible, but an 8-9 record last year for the Patriots seems about par for the course. I don't think they'll be a 3 or 4 win team like the Cardinals. I think they'll do. Let me put last year's standings on the screen here. Hold on 1 second. We got a bull. We got not only do we have a $50 hauler bold prediction here from Mr. Paul Wolfer. Okay? Bold prediction. We're gonna do your standing ovation and all that. What are we doing? What are we doing? This is $20+ hauler.
Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert.
All $20 haulers are getting a celebration at this point. It's on me. This is on me. Not celebrating you guys when you drop a $20 plus hauler on this channel is on me. I should be celebrating you more. And so we're doing more, as you just saw. You're getting the jam played for you when you drop a $20+ hauler. This $50 hauler right here, Justin Herbert will break the single season passing TD record and will be named MVP. This is from Paul Wolfer, and we're going to put this on the board right now. Okay, put this on the board right now. Justin Herbert will, what is the prediction again? Justin Herbert will break the single TD passing record, the TD passing record, and MVP. Wow, that's a bold one. Okay, so this is 531 Wolford. Wolfer. Herbert. TD record. MVP. On the board, bro. Nailed it. Wolford, appreciate your super chat, my guy. All right, I'm sorry. Who's on the phone again? The Patrick? 55 TDs, not sure about that, says Sean. Hey, that's why it's the bold prediction board, baby. That's why it's the bold prediction board, Sean. So buckle up. Wolford's got one for you. He's got a big one. Big prediction for you, pal. Okay. What else we got? Patrick, you got anything else before I move on?
You say you wanted to talk about Breece Hall, and I think we're all in agreement on that. I have him as number 21 overall. I have him as my running back 9, and I think that's perfect for him. I think that puts in all risk, and I'm definitely counting if he sneaks to the third round, or if I can get him at the late end of the mid to halfway through the second round, I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, I am too. Bailey Zappi will set the TD record just like he did in college. Wow, Max is dropping some boldness there. Belichick yourself will be excited on this day. If this happens. CMC running back 1. Maybe Joseph. I mean, he's certainly earned the ranking of that, but I do have a cautionary tale video up right now on Christian McCaffrey. Hit that thumb up button. We got 150 in here, 76 thumbs up. Punch that number up into the hundreds for me. Smitty, what's up, bro? Says Millie. Appreciate you, Millie. Max is a man who get it. Max is a man who get it. What did Max say? What did he say? Something about Michael Thomas? Is Jake? What's Jake? Jake the Snake is Watson. Garrett is Michael Thomas. I keep mixing up their two predictions. Zappy hour, boys, says Austin. There's a lot of Zappy fans. Let's just hope that Bill Belichick's a Zappy fan as well, because Zappy, we need Zappy to start, not Mac Jones. Mac Jones is garbage. Garbage. He's garbage, as Denny would say. He's garbage. Zappy to the moon. Maybe not that far. Let's not send him to the moon just yet, but maybe we could send him to a top of a mountaintop somewhere, like a nice little mile up type of mountain. You could send him up to the top of that, but I don't know if we're gonna be sending him to the atmosphere just yet. What's up, Graydon? Appreciate you all being here. File on in, hit that like button. Phone lines will be open. You can hang tight to Patrick if you want to stay on the line here. Let's open the phone lines up if anybody wants to dial in and discuss any of the players we're talking about or anything else you might have. Where's Denny? Denny usually is asleep during the day/evening stream. The sun's still up for me. I don't know where Denny is, but it's 4:48 p.m. my time, which is 7:48 p.m. Eastern. So this is an afternoon stream for me. I know it's an evening stream for a lot of you, but Denny might be sleeping right now. He usually gets up during the graveyard shift and comes on our show, and that's how he rolls. We got Brucey calling in. Bruce, what's up, my guy? How you feeling? Brucey.
Hey, Smitty.
How you feeling?
I'm all right.
Good.
Yeah, another day in paradise.
Yeah. How do you like Breece Hall?
Well, that's who I was actually going to talk about, was Breece Hall.
All right, hit me with it.
So if you have the 12th pick, would it be decent or smart to take him on the 13th pick because they're going back if it's a snake?
Thanks, Thomas. Thomas shared the channel with 10 different people. That is a man right there. That is a man that is confident in his skills because he's not afraid to share the show, and I appreciate that. 12 overall, 12-13 turn for Zeke is a little early. That's kind of what I said at the beginning of the show. That you start grabbing him as near first round, and you're getting. This is why I hate kind of even like when I say things like Breece Hall is going to be a top 5 to 10 running back. I'm excited about this, and then people start drafting him as a top 5 to 10 or top 5 running back in round 1. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. Doesn't matter if he could do it. You can't draft him in the first round. And 12-13 is kind of the first round. You just got to take a different approach in that league or trade down. I'm not saying in a best ball where you can't trade out and you want an RB and you're afraid all the RBs are going to be gone, that I wouldn't consider some sort of like A.J. Brown, Breece Hall, 12-13 type of draft. It's not the end of the world to do that. But in a redraft league where you can control your draft selection and move down, move up, like it's ridiculous to take him in the top 12 or 13 because he's not sniffing that value. People are worried about him. So you're just leaving value on the table. You're driving up to the gas station, you're putting 20 on pump 5, and you're getting in your car and you're driving off and you're not pumping your gas. You're just leaving it in the pump, bro. You got to play the numbers game. You got to play smart with it. So the context matters. If it's a best ball, you can't trade. I'm okay with it. I'm not going to make you take a lap, but certainly would say, hey, maybe this is a chance to try the wide receiver, approach and then come back around. You never know. Maybe Breece Hall falls. Like, what the weirdest thing is when you almost take him in round 2, mid-round 2, and then he's still there in round 3. Like, whoa, what was I doing? I was about to take Breece Hall at 15 overall. He's still available. I'm on the clock in the 3rd round. I've gotten Breece Hall in the 3rd round in a lot of recent drafts, man. Like, it just depends on who you draft with. Late at night, I find on Underdog, you could do some damage. I feel like people like go to sleep. They put their team on autopilot. I don't know what's going on. They'll go wide receiver. All of a sudden, nobody will draft running backs, and Breece will be sitting there. He'll be the second recommended running back after my 2nd round pick, and I'll just go wide receiver, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and then some later running back, and then all of a sudden I'm on the clock, and Breece is still there, and I'm like, what's going on? What is going on? Breece Hall, 8 foot tall. Do a hell of a job for you as a 3rd drafted player. So that's my fear for you, Brucey, is you can sometimes get him around 3 and you're about to take him at 12. This is too high. But
because I was like, man, because I knew in my league, I knew I was stuck at 12, 13. And then I was kind of like, man, I like Breece, but I don't know if I can, and I can't trade down. I'm just stuck there. I'm kind of like, man, I really don't want to lose Breece, but I don't know if I should take
Brucey,
him that early.
Guess what his ADP is on Underdog right now?
I'd have to say between quarterbacks, I'd say 60 something.
No, that's great. 60 would be he's 30. 30 overall.
30?
30 overall. That is almost to the end of round. I mean, really halfway through round 2. Or I'm sorry, halfway through round 3. So halfway through round 3, he's still sitting there. He's there at 3.1. He's there at 3.2. He's there at 3.3. Breece Hall is literally the steal of the 3rd round. I don't know how he's dropped into round 3. I really don't know how that. I think it's just the people being scared of will he be ready for week 1? That's baked in. You draft him at 12. Guess what you're not doing? You're not leaving any room for him having a slow start. What if they give him 8 carries in week 1? Certainly possible. And I'm going to have everybody at my doorstep that took him in the top 12 or 13 going, Smitty, what do I do? I'm in a panic. And people that took him at 30 are going to go, it's okay. I packaged that potential maybe week 1, week 2 slow start in. Those people will be calm. The people that reached and were impulsive was the word of the day yesterday. Impulsive drafters get panicked. They get panicked because they made a bad investment. They bought on the high. They bought a falling knife. And you're going to catch it? No. Hold on one second, Brucey. Let's go over to Alan. Alan, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
Hey, Smitty, how you doing, buddy?
What up?
I was calling to get your input on a Dynasty league I'm in. So I made a trade. I was curious what you think about it, and then I was curious who you would pick up with the pick I got.
Okay.
So I gave away Jonathan Taylor. I'm in a rebuilding year. I gave away Jonathan Taylor for the 102 this year and for a first-round pick in 2025.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts, and who do you think you take? I really need quarterback. The whole point of this is I'm struggling at quarterback. It's a double quarterback league, double quarterback dynasty league.
See, this is where you and I are just going to have like this problem is because I'm not taking Gibbs. That's the problem is you're going to have to force a quarterback, not to mention and I like Bryce Young, but I don't really know. I don't really know when he's going to develop. I don't know for sure that he will. And Anthony Davis is probably going 1. And if he doesn't, then I'm taking Breece Hall. I'm sorry, I'm taking Bijan Robinson. So would I take Anthony Richardson at 2 overall if you're in dire need of a QB and you made this big move to do it, I suppose. But I'm not passing on Bijan. I don't care. I don't care what you're dealing with. I'm not passing on Bijan. In a startup draft.
I think Bijan's going 101. Even though it's a double QB league, I think the guy who has 101 isn't in need of quarterback. So I think he's taking Bijan.
I couldn't pass on Gibbs. I couldn't do it, especially you gave up JT. But what's your running back depth? Like, apparently you're rich at running back, right?
I'm not actually that rich at running back, but I have Saquon and Kamara right now. And I do have a lot of picks. So I have the 107 this year, the 108 this year, the 111 this year, 3 first rounds next year, and 3 first rounds in 2025 now.
Okay, so JT plus 1, JT for the 1, 2, and a future first.
Yeah, but I could, if your suggestion, if you're really high on Gibbs, I think I could get out of the 102, trade back into the 105, and still take Gibbs in this league. I think Shroud, Richardson, and Young all go with Bijan in the top 4.
Yeah, but if you're wrong, you're going to get screwed. If you think you know where Gibbs is going to go, but if Gibbs goes before that, then I'm going to throw up all over the table here. It'd be like, what did you do? What in the hell did you just do to your team? JT for the what? What did you do, bro? I'm not much about trusting what you hear. Oh, I'm hearing this guy's going at 1.2. He would go this, and this guy said he's going to go this. Nobody's doing anything they tell you. Are you going to tell anybody what you're going to do? No. So no. I mean, you need. Okay. So in a startup draft, Anthony Richardson's going. I know I said Anthony Davis a couple of times. I have basketball in my mind. Anthony Richardson is going probably a little ahead of Gibbs, maybe, probably a little bit in a dynasty startup superflex, probably. But part of me would wonder if you could go get another quarterback, like an older veteran like Aaron Rodgers, for cheap, and take Gibbs. Like, I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers, using that, and unless that future first rounder is going to be a high pick, and you know that. I'd rather just use that and go get my older, aging quarterback to toss next to my other. Who are your quarterbacks?
Jared Goff, Ryan Tannehill, and Trevor Lawrence.
Oh god. Okay, so T-Law, I love that. I wonder if you could trade Goff in the future first for like an older player like Aaron Rodgers. I want you to have Gibbs. I want you to have Gibbs, bro. But push comes to shove. I mean, Richardson's really, really, really good in Superflex. I think there's a lot of upside there. But me, I'm a different monster, bro. I'll go get my quarterback another way. I know it's not easy to trade for quarterbacks in a Superflex, but T-Law and Goff aren't the worst tandem in the world. I just want Gibbs. I couldn't pass on Gibbs. If you can trade down to the 3 or 4 and you can in your mind guarantee yourself Gibbs, I mean, by all means, try it and gain some more value and try and get that quarterback. Sam Howell's a very interesting quarterback to have as your second QB. Goff, I mean, maybe you could trade Goff straight up for Sam Howell and just kind of go with a risky move. It's very, very risky. I mean, I understand that. But he's potentially rags to riches. or go after Aaron Rodgers. Do you think Goff? I mean,
I
Aaron
don't
Rodgers.
think I'm in a year where I can compete. Like
Yeah,
the rest
but-
of the team is pretty gutted. I have to really pick up new players.
You're not at you're saying you can't compete?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Well, I still think Gibbs and Gibbs is still a great move for you. Then I don't know. What if this future first turns into a better quarterback option?
It could. Definitely could.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
So you're Gibbs over Richardson and over Young.
I mean, I am, but because I know I would figure out another way. Like I said, Goff and T-Law isn't the end of the world. That's not a horrible quarterback. That's a decent quarterback tandem. You know, I definitely feel like Gibbs is the better player. Gibbs is you're giving up JT. You're gonna need another running back one. I think he's capable of being a fantasy football running back one. I want Gibbs.
I felt like there is a scenario where JT has another one of these kind of years, his last year, and his value just goes way down, and I can't ever get 2 first rounds for him again. And I was worried about that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't mind the trade.
It's also why I'm holding Kamara, because I know that right now I can't get much for him. But if he has if he comes out and he has a great year, which could happen, that's in the realm of possible, I could sucker someone into giving me more than they should for him next year, or in the middle of the year if they're going for a run.
Yeah. Trust your gut. Bring it back to us when you have some other movement on it. But I mean, right now I'm taking Gibbs. It's just me.
All right.
And I know not everybody would do that. A lot of people would just take a position because they need a position. But I'm just different than other people. I'll go find my quarterback another way. Unless you're like in a league where no one trades and you're never going to get a quarterback and you know this for a fact, then, you know, Anthony Richardson's not bad. AR-15 is really, really, really decent, but I love Gibbs, bro. I'm doing the Gibbs thing. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Talk easy.
Yeah, call back when you have more movement on it or any other ideas. All right, later. That's a tough one. Either one of you, Bruce or Patrick, have and you can call back if you want to ask more questions, bro. I didn't mean to kick you off the panel here. Brucey, I'm not sure how many super flexes you play in or the Patrick, but what would you guys do if you were him? You don't really have a team that can even win now. Would you just go quarterback, get the long-term quarterback prospect, or would you go Gibbs and try and build around that? It's a really tough one.
I
like Gibbs. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in for someone in the chat said that he's not giving up JT for Gibbs. He didn't. He gave up JT for Gibbs and a future first rounder. So he's going to potentially turn that into something. So it's not just JT for Gibbs. Not to mention, I would probably take Gibbs over JT personally. I would. I like Gibbs more.
Dynasty? Absolutely.
Yeah, I like Gibbs more. Yeah. I mean, who knows how many years JT has left? I'll take Gibbs in a heartbeat.
You might find in a super flex like it is, you might find a veteran quarterback like you were talking about for trade, like an Aaron Rodgers, and then you can sell him once he starts having a good year. Sell him to someone who maybe their quarterback went down.
Yeah, and Goff and T-Law aren't awful. Like Goff should have a pretty decent year. So I don't know that.
Absolutely not.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
And Goff isn't that old either.
I mean, it's a good team. The Lions are going to have a good year.
Yeah.
So I don't know that like could Goff outscore Richardson this year? Yeah. As a rookie, sure.
Yeah. Do we even know if Richardson is going to start?
He probably will, but no, there's no guarantee of any of that. But he probably will. But I just think that, you know, Gibbs and Goff is better than Richardson and Goff on the bench. You know. Like I don't know. I don't like it. Plus, you could trade Goff. If Goff starts off on fire, maybe you trade the future first rounder and Goff and try and get Caleb. Then also you got Gibbs and Caleb. You know, you got to think long term. You can't just think one move. You got to think multiple moves ahead. Like treat it like chess. What can you maneuver? What can this future first rounder maneuver with Goff or other pieces And then you're replacing JT with Gibbs, who I like better. Gibbs over JT. Gibbs over JT, not just by a little, by a lot. JT in a dynasty, absolutely. Give me Gibbs 100%. Like I don't understand any of those comments. Anybody who says JT over Gibbs just has JT in a dynasty already, and that's what they gotta say. You know, it's like saying who's better, your kid or my kid? Well, my kid. My kid's better.
Yeah, because there's a chance he don't even get a contract this year. And then he's going to be in that running back wonderland, or that running back, what's that hell? Purgatory. He's going to be in that purgatory where you can't count on JT past this year because it's all up in the air.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Richardson. I think he's a fun fantasy prospect in 2 QB leagues. I mean, for sure. But kind of putting the cart before the horse on that to suggest that he's for sure better than a what I believe to be a top 5 to 10 running back in Gibbs for a handful of years. I'd rather have Bijan or Gibbs over him. I think in my Superflex rankings, locked in, cemented in, it's Bijan, Gibbs, and then I go quarterback. And that might not be the norm. You might see a lot of analysts just go with the position. I don't draft positions. You guys know I don't draft positions. I don't. I know you got to factor that in a little more in Superflex, that there's more value at the position, but it doesn't change my mind. It doesn't change my theory. I'm drafting a player, not a position. And so the player, Anthony Richardson, has more value in a 2 QB, but it doesn't mean I'm drafting the position. I don't care. I'm not drafting a position. I will never draft a position. You want somebody that's going to tell you to draft off a spreadsheet and take positions because of this, then by all means. You know, that's not me. I'm always going to take a player, not a position. Always. And even including the positional increase in value in a Superflex, no quarterback in this draft class can best the value in a Superflex, Bijan or Gibbs. You know, I just can't. No way. No way. And people comparing Hurts and Anthony Richardson. Hurts is I like Richardson. Richardson could become one of those kind of elite quarterbacks, maybe. But Hurts, I loved Hurts. I don't see the same thing yet. I mean, it could develop, but I'm definitely.
I remember you saying when Hurts was drafted that he's here and he's going to take Wentz's place very soon.
Yeah, that's the difference. So for those saying that, people said, I think Rodgers or somebody said the same thing. I think the same thing was said about Hurts, exactly. And I was the one saying Hurts was going to be a monster, and he is. You hear me talking positively about Anthony Richardson, but you don't hear me talking about him as the next Hurts. I saw Hurts coming, Roger. So I was the one getting the beating on this topic.
Yep.
I just don't know that I feel. I don't know that I feel. Not that he can't get there, but I don't feel it yet. Therefore, Gibbs and Bijan above quarterback in a Superflex rookie draft. Just plain and simple. I'll figure it out. Not to mention he's got Goff. Goff and Gibbs is better than just Richardson. Goff could outscore Richardson. And this year. Maddie from LA. What's up, Maddie? You're live.
Schmitty, how you doing, buddy?
What's up?
Quick question. So, a dynasty question. I got CeeDee Lamb and Cooper Kupp, and I got offered a trade for Drake London and a second-round pick. What are your thoughts on that?
CeeDee Lamb and Cooper Kupp, you give up both of them for Drake London and what?
No. I gave a trade CeeDee Lamb or Cooper Kupp for Drake London and a second-round pick.
CeeDee Lamb or Cooper Kupp. Okay, or. Well, I mean, bro, yeah. Cooper Kupp is 95 years old. So if you're going to be trading one of them in a dynasty, you got to trade Cooper Kupp away. I mean, I like him for another year, maybe 2, but that's it, bro. He doesn't have 3-4 years left. You know, he's injury prone. Cooper Kupp's had 2 seasons of 1,000 yards or more. 2. Like Cooper Kupp is not some proven,
Right.
like big track record, amazing, generational. He's been there doing it for a decade straight. Cooper Kupp is. It's so funny how people act like Cooper Kupp has been steady and just absolute monster for a decade straight. He's had 2,000-yard seasons. So he's what? How is he? Is he 30 now? Did he turn 30?
I think he's up there. He's definitely up there. Fantasy Pros had him ranked pretty high for the season already.
Well, for redraft, right?
Assuming,
for redraft. But what about Dynasty?
Yeah, for redraft, but not Dynasty.
Yeah, so you're talking.
Yeah, that's why I'm calling just to see.
Yeah, you're getting the barometer. Okay. Yeah, Cooper Kupp turns 30 years old, or he just turned 29. He just turned 29 on June 15. Or no, he turns 30 on June 15. What am I saying? Yeah, he turns 30 on June 15. So he's about to turn 30 years old. That's old for an NFL player, especially with his injury history. And he's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons. Like I said, 2,000-yard seasons. He's missed time. He tore his ACL and missed, half a season in 2018. Came back and had a really strong rebound, though, I will say. And then he missed another half a season in 2022. So he's had 2 years now where he's missed, half of a season. So I think while we got to be a little careful to say he's like this massive injury-prone type player, Cooper Kupp is somebody that I'm not considering anywhere near CeeDee Lamb at dynasty value. So just in that argument alone, you're giving Cooper Kupp to him. Now, do I take Drake London? And what was the pick? A second rounder?
A second rounder, yeah, the 2.3 spot.
Okay, now here's where I might surprise you a little bit and say that I'm not saying that I wouldn't do the deal because I do love Drake London, but you wouldn't be crazy to say, you know what, Cooper Kupp is the lesser player of CeeDee Lamb and him in Dynasty, but I still rather have Kupp and Lamb and win this year. Because Kupp could still have, like I said, 1 to 2 years left. We'll call it one and take it 1 year at a time, but 1 to 2 years left of being a top 5 wide receiver. Like, he could do that. So you're not crazy to hold on to him and not trade him away. But I would say give me Drake London in a first without hesitation. Drake London in like a second or something like that makes it a little bit tougher because Cooper Kupp, like I said, does have the 1 to 2 years left, and it depends if you're playing for the now, if you can win the bag and win your prize pool is like $500 to $1,000, and you're looking at Cooper Kupp and you're like, man, I got 2 years of this guy. Like you could win 2 bags. I wouldn't blame you for not doing it.
Right.
But I definitely wouldn't trade CeeDee Lamb.
Right. Yeah, no, that was the thing. I was thinking Drake London, and then for the second round, land like one of the stud wideouts that came out. Who knows? Maybe Nick Jigba. I don't think he's gonna fall to me, or maybe Clinton Johnson. I'm not sure. In that area. To kind of beef up the receiving core that I have, because my other receivers are Deontay Johnson and Jacoby Myers. So that's where I'm like, do I rebuild the receiving core a little bit and CD being my number one?
I don't know. I think you could argue this either way. You could argue go win now with Cooper Kupp and CeeDee Lamb, and Cooper Kupp still last 2 years, maybe last 2.5 years or whatever. I probably take Drake London just because I think he's gonna have such a big year that it's worth maybe a downgrade this year, even if he doesn't outscore Cooper Kupp, to have him for 7 to 8 years. So I would say give me London, but I'm not trading Lamb.
Gotcha. All right, Shree, I appreciate that.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Isaac, yeah, I'm probably going to just do one call at a time. So, Patrick, final thoughts, pal? And then I'm going to go to Oscar at the end of this. So, Patrick, you got anything else?
My bad, I was on mute.
Yeah, no problem.
No, I don't have anything else. I will say this, though, is that since we was talking about JT, this is my last year that I do have him high, that I do got a lot of shares of him, because this is his contract year, and I don't see him re-signing with the Colts. So I see them emphasizing a lot on him, especially with a rookie quarterback. But as far as Dynasty, Jahmyr Gibbs over JT
For sure,
all
bro.
day long.
Yep. All right, appreciate you, Patrick. Call back in. The phone lines are open. I'm gonna cycle through and not keep everybody on hold. Okay, so call back if you have something else. Thank you, pal.
All right.
Bruce, you got any final thoughts?
I got a question, actually. I just got offered a trade.
All right.
All right. I got Dalvin Cook, Nico Collins, Wandell Robinson, a 2024 first, a 2025 first, 2025 second, and I give up Gibbs.
Read it all off again. I think I'm going to throw up in my mouth, but go ahead. Read it all again.
I get Dalvin Cook, Nico Collins, Wandell Robinson, a 2024 first, a 2025 first, a 2025 second, and I give up Gibbs.
I guess it depends where those firsts are at. But basically, here's what I would say. Even if one of them is top 3 or 4 guaranteed, but you don't know it's number 1. Like you're telling me it's top 5, but we don't. Like if you told me, Smitty, this is the worst team that's ever been assembled, this guy has. He can't win a game, and it's the guaranteed 1.1. Then we have a little bit of a conversation to have. But if you can't have that confidence in at least one of the picks, Gibbs is already worth whatever you'll be so lucky to have one of those picks fall into that territory. Like you're praying that one of them's top 2 so you can get a Gibbs-like player. So now you've got this extra first rounder and a bunch of garbage that he's tossed on to try and make it look like it's better. He's wrapping this thing up in a bunch of shiat, tying a bow on it, and saying, hey, maybe you get a Gibbs back and then you get an additional mid-third round first rounder. Hell no, Brucey. Hell.
Okay.
You've just been Smitty disappointed.
Oh, what do we think of Tajee Spears in Dynasty?
I think in Dynasty you need 2 ACLs. You need an ACL at each of your knees to get any kind of confidence from me. So Spears is on planet Uranus.
And off he goes to the
no offense. I suffered a torn ACL as well, but you definitely need ACLs in order to have any value in Dynasty. You can't be sporting one of them.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later, Smith.
All right, Brucey, call in if you have another question. Phone lines are going to be open. I'm just going to be cycling people in and out. Oscar, you're live.
Hey, how's it going, Smitty?
Good. Hey, Oscar, hold on one second. Let me get the super chat out. Matt says Ryan got sacked 38 times last year, and JT was dodging defenders in the backfield. I'm not confident in the Colts O-line. I'd chill on JT personally. Thank you for the $5 holler.
To the moon.
Isaac, you're the man. And, that's, I think, what we all are a little bit, skeptical of JT, because the last time we saw him, he did come back and look okay at times, but then he got hurt again. So the last time we saw him, it was failing. He failed all year, and then he came back, and then he failed again on us. Regardless of why. Injury, I get it. But he failed us. So the last time we've seen him, he was in failure mode. And the same thing for Deshaun Watson as to why I don't love Deshaun is it wasn't like he was in total success mode. That's why I pumped the brakes on him. If he gets Hopkins, it's going to change the game. But yeah, all right, go ahead, Oscar. I'm sorry.
No worries. I actually have a Dynasty question.
All right, hit me with it.
So I am looking to see if it's worth trading Hooker to try to get Aaron Rodgers.
I would. If you have a shot at winning now, I take the gamble that he plays 2 years, and even if he plays just one, if you can win the championship over it, I would do it. I like Hendon Hooker, I really do, but we've seen Malik Willis. Thought we had something maybe in him. It feels like we really don't know what Hooker can do. And I like him a lot. He's a very decent prospect for sure. But give me the championship. If you can't win the championship, then don't do it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have a strong chance of winning. Now, I did try to shoot a trade off to the guy who has Aaron Rodgers. Essentially, he's looking to get Hooker plus something else for Rodgers, and I wanted to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, he should be. He's got a high value on. That's kind of a big asking price for a younger. But I mean, it depends what he wants. A third rounder or something like whatever. You should be getting the third rounder, to be honest. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Would I give up a first or a high second round pick? No. I mean, you shouldn't be giving him anything really. But if you can win now with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, it's worth giving up like a third. It's worth giving up something else with that and giving him the younger prospect.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I actually did that. It was Hooker and then a 2024 third.
Yeah, that's fine. To win now, but you got to win now. You got to be able to win. Rodgers has to do something for you. You're renting Rodgers for a year, and you're hoping that the rental gets extended for one more year. But with his age and injury risk, like, it's not just a matter of whether he wants to come back. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to be healthy. He's older. So there's a lot of questions.
So, okay. So I threw that offer to him and he rejected it. That's what I'm saying. So would you go anything above a third? So upgrading it to a second or a first?
First, absolutely not. If he gets a first rounder out of you and Hendon Hooker for Aaron Rodgers, you're going to get made fun of in the league. You can't give up a first rounder for Aaron Rodgers. You can't give up a first rounder alone for Aaron Rodgers, let alone add Hendon Hooker to it. But a second rounder, I don't know. It feels like he should be giving you the second rounder, so it's crazy. He's just playing hardball with you, and like he's just getting his way. I would just say, I mean, would I give a couple third rounders? Maybe. Would I give? It depends where the second rounder was going to be. If it's late, maybe I do. Just if you do really believe Rodgers helps you win the championship.
I mean, it would solidify the QB2. I went with the late round.
All right, what's your lineup look like? And I'll tell you whether this is going to win a championship. Go.
Okay, hold on. Let me load it up here.
While you get your team, Dakota Dave, you're live.
Oh yeah, hey, I got something on Gibbs that I thought you'd appreciate.
On Gibbs?
on Gibbs. I got a good buddy who's a physics professor, and I showed him your continuum analysis.
Okay.
And he said you nailed it.
He did. He's a physics professor from ITT Tech, or is it Stanford?
No, from Stanford, yeah.
Okay, did he say that I mean, that's great, bro. That's great news. I'm not a physicist, but I do believe I potentially could be. And the Jahmyr Gibbs formula, the gigawatts, the flux capacitors, it all comes into full circle when the continuum is electrified by the megavolt timekeeper. It all comes together, doesn't it? It just all comes together. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to defy logic on the field. His ability to find that gap in that the passing lane right here, okay? Jahmyr Gibbs is fast enough to travel through said gap before it closes, and he sneaks through. It closes here, and Gibbs is off to the races into the end zone. It's all physics. It's all science. It's all mathematics and algebra divided by chemistry. All right, hang tight, Dakota, Dave. Let's see if Oscar has his team prepared yet.
Yeah, I got it ready.
All right, hit me with it.
Okay, so I'm going to just read off. So quarterback, we got Jordan Love. Then we got Najee, Ramondre Stevenson, Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra, Olave, Kincaid as the tight end. And we got Christian Watson, Zay Flowers, and Derek Carr as a super flex.
Okay, so Carr, and you have Flowers. This is your entire lineup?
This is the starting. I have the bench spots as well. If you want me to read off.
That's fine. I mean, that's a really good team. You got a really good squad. I don't know that Carr's pretty decent. But I don't mind you doing this move because then you have a 3 quarterback rotation that's pretty nice. So I don't mind it. I don't think you need to I think you can overpay a tiny bit, but I think overpaying really is given a second rounder and Hendon Hooker for Aaron Rodgers, and that is overpaying. That you're extremely overpaying. But yeah, this is a solid squad. I mean, who's your backup running back if, let's say, Najee or Stevenson go down?
Let's see. I drafted Charbonnet.
Okay.
Chase Brown, Brian Robinson.
I like it, bro. I think is this a 4-man or a 5-man league?
Say it one more time.
Is this a 4-man or a 5-man league?
4-man? No, it's a 12-man league.
12. Come on. Really? You know what's funny is when I ask people this, I say, "Is this a 12-man league?" Yeah, pretty much. That's my favorite line somebody's ever given. They're you can't. It's not a 12-man league if you say pretty much. It's 10. They're embarrassed. Okay, if you did this in a 12-man league, you took advantage of 11 other grandmas, bro. One of them being your own. I commend you. First of all, you should be ashamed of yourself. Second of all. But yeah, I mean, go get Aaron Rodgers, 2nd-round pick, Hendon Hooker, get Aaron Rodgers in the mix there. That's a really, really, really good squad. I think you're in a position to overpay to get the kind of quarterback rotation that Love, Carr, and Aaron Rodgers would provide you. Don't throw Carr in or do anything crazy. Just do a 2nd-rounder. If he doesn't want to do it, I wouldn't even propose it to him. I would say the most I'd even consider, and I don't even think I'd be an idiot to do it, is a 2nd. Send it to me. I'll accept it or not. Other than that, forget it. Whatever. Don't leave it in his court, because what he's doing is you're sending him offers, and you're like, please. And he's like, no. And please. And he's like, no. He's got total control of the conversation. Just be like, you send me something, and I don't even know if I'd accept a 2nd, but that is the absolute most I would even give you. And literally, I'll decide in milliseconds when you send it to me, but I think I should just move on. Make him come to you. Shake it up a little bit. Otherwise, he's just going to continue to play. This is that never going to do a trade Noah. That's never trading Noah, it sounds like. He's just got he's the most patient fantasy man in the world. I hate the most patient owners. The guys that sit there and they could all day say no. It doesn't bother them. They could just say no and literally leave a trade out there and never worry about it. Whereas us anxious people are like, come on, throw something in. Let's do a deal. And he knows he's got you by the balls because you're an anxious Andrew. Right, Oscar?
Yeah.
Your middle name Andrew? Is your middle name Andrew?
No, it's close.
Okay.
Armando. But...
Okay. Well, you're anxious Armando. Same thing, bro.
There you go.
I know, bro. All right. Hey, appreciate you, Oscar.
Appreciate you.
Let us know if you get a counter. All right. We got Mars man Ron Navy on the phone, jumping straight to the front of the line. Ron, what is up, pal?
What's up? I love Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, he's good.
In Dynasty.
Yeah, no, Hendon Hooker's good prospect. He's just got such a good team to win now that it makes a lot of sense for him to go for the kill shot, because his team there's certain time and place when you can rent and get a quarterback in there. If he gets Aaron Rodgers, Carr, and Love, he's got enough of a rotation, I think, to smash his league to pieces for a couple of years. But yeah, I do like Hendon Hooker. He's pretty interesting if you need to.
Yeah, Detroit needs to make another move though. They need to make one big move. They need to sign Dicker the kicker. That way they can have Dicker the kicker and the hooker on the same team.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Those two would be awesome.
Yeah, I don't think they could put them in the same room though.
And they could. Yeah, but then they can work in.
I don't think
they can work in Butte later.
Yeah, they got to put Hooker and then Dicker the kicker on opposite sides of the bench. You can't have them near each other. It's too much going to happen. Jacob's dropping a super chat, says time to argue Hall or Mark Andrews in that early 3 spot. I'm personally taking Andrews, could be the tight end 1. In that early 3 spot, you mean the early 3rd round? Well, I'll go to Ron. I personally would take Hall. It's not that I don't like Andrews. I just don't quite trust him right now coming off of last year. I do like him. I think Andrews could be very, very undervalued. And I think that the Ravens are going to have a little bit better year than any of us thought because they took care of business like we said they would need to in order to turn things around. And I really like what they're potentially setting up here. Munkin's been doing a great job. Todd Munkin knows what he's doing. He's built great offenses before. And I can argue that Andrews in the 3rd is great. But I'm just taking Hall, and then I like some of these other tight ends better. That not better than Andrews, but I like the value better, the bang for the buck. And I don't know that you're going to get the bang for the buck at running back as much as you will with Hall in round 3, but it's arguable. I don't mind it. I've drafted a couple of Andrews in round 3 best ball teams, and they felt pretty good, to be honest. But Ron, what are you thinking?
Yeah, the thing is, I've hardly drafted any of Hall this year at all. He's just not working out for me in round 3 because, I'm going with either like Bijan in the 1st round, so I'm good there, and then I'm coming back around with Olave, and then probably more likely because Watson's coming up, Watson. So I'm fading Hall. I've been fading Hall because he just don't work out in the 3rd round for me.
I love him in the 3rd, but I do end up taking like.
I love Hall, but he's just not working out for me. I mean, he's not his ADP in the 3rd round is not good for me.
Yeah, I think it's smash territory. Much rather go a Okonkwo later, says Michael. I just like a combo of those guys and then getting the Hall pick.
Yeah, but who do you take? I mean, if you take, let's say you take Bijan in the 1st round, right? Because let's say you're in the middle of the round. Let's say you take Bijan there. Who do you take in the 2nd round? And then knowing that you have to take, are you going to take Hall if you only have one, receiver? What if Olave's there? What if Watson's right there? Who do you take?
I've taken Hall as my 2nd running back, so I've gone like Hurts in round 2. Like I've tried something crazy like that. I've gone Bijan, Hurts, and Hall. And then I'll take London and start assembling my wide receivers that way. Not the craziest approach. You do feel weaker at wide receiver, but that's that's just the way it goes when you try and build that way. But there's definitely a place for Hall in round 3 every time I see him. I have taken, admittedly have taken Gibbs ahead of Hall at the tail end of 3 in a couple drafts. So I want people to know that's how much I love Jahmyr Gibbs. So I've been pushed to the limit there, and I'm like, can I get both of them? I think Hall's going to go here, and I've tried it, and I haven't. Right. I haven't been able to land Hall in 4. That would be, you could have maybe earlier on in the offseason, but if negative news comes out like it did yesterday, you what?
In best ball, yeah. I mean, take a chance, but you're not going to take that many. You're going to take chances like that, sporadically here and there, but you're not going to do a lot of them because, I mean, if you take a Bijan or a Garrett Wilson and then you take run, whatever, you're not gonna do that a lot because you got Gibbs right there in the third round, or 4th round maybe you can get Gibbs.
I have Hall on a ton of best balls, so I definitely know I'm doing it. I know you're saying you're not doing it, but I'm smashing Hall in round 3. Only time I don't do it is if I'm in late 3 and the build's a certain way and I take Burrow, in late 3, or I take Gibbs in late 3 and I just feel lucky. That's the only time I'm ever doing it. I'm still taking Hall almost every other time I'm not in that situation and I need an RB for sure. And if I don't need an RB, I'm tempted to go like Watson and players like that, but Hall is a smash in round 3 in general. But I hear what you're saying. I think because you tend to build a certain way, every time. Like, that's just your nature. But if you go wide receiver Jamar Chase in round 1, then and Hall's there in round 3, he's almost a lock for me if I've already gone Chase, because I don't need to have 2 wide receivers in my top 3 picks in best ball like everybody else in the world feels like they have to have. I just totally disagree with that you can't win going a little heavier RB when you can start 3 of them. You know, you could start 3 RBs, and I think this whole notion that you got to scoop up all the wide receivers, the running backs are the ones drying up. And I love going.
That's true. Yeah, but I don't think there's a running back dead zone. That's the problem. There is a wide receiver dead zone. So if I'm getting Garrett Wilson or I'm getting Olave or Watson, I'm scooping those guys up, myself, personally. And because, I mean, later on, the receivers get a lot weaker than the running backs. And so if I can get a Bijan and then a couple good wide receivers and then tack on a Najee, a Stevenson, a Dillon, a Walker in 5, and then Charbonnet afterwards.
It's all preference.
I mean,
it's all preference. I don't think the wide receivers.
You ain't making it.
I don't think the wide receivers don't. I don't think they dry up like you're saying. I think there's maybe more dead spots. I don't think there's any dead zones this year at all that I've looked at. There's dead spots where it's like, okay, it's a little bit like I'd rather go running back than waste a pick on one of these wide receivers because I just personally don't love them. But the wide receiver position is so deep, there's no ability to have like a dead zone. Dead zone would be like where there's no RB to even take, you know. But I would say, like, you're looking at Drake London always being there as your wide receiver 1 if you're going to wait until round 4 to take your wide receiver 1. Dotson's one of my favorite wide receiver 2s to take in that poor man's version of a wide receiver room. So if I'm going running back, let's say I go Bijan, and let's just say I went Hurts. I typically like Burrow in round 3 or 4. Let's just say, or let's say I go Bijan, and let's say I even take 1 wide receiver. Let's say I take Bijan, Olave, Breece Hall, and then I get to 4. Burrow is still there. I take Burrow. I'm not even like sweating at all because if I can get my boys Dotson and players like that, I'm fine. I don't even sweat it. I can definitely survive. And London's got an ADP it got adjusted 46 overall. That's crazy. Dotson is down at Pickens at 73 is amazing. Dotson at 79 is crazy. Those are I love that combination of London,
but after
Dotson.
That's where I'm talking about.
Pickens.
You don't have after Dotson. That's pretty much it for good quality wide receivers. You're taking a dartboard shot on the rest of the receivers the rest of the way. I mean, there's nobody proven after Dotson.
But that's 80
the
overall.
Upside just isn't receiver.
But that's 80 overall. You know, we're talking about being pretty far into the draft at that point. 80 overall. You got JSN right around there. Jameson Williams is out for 6 games, so that's a risky one, but he's still there. Zay Flowers. That's all around like 80 to 90, so we're still very, very deep in the draft. It's preference. I mean, you can argue one way or the other. I'm not saying I don't like your approach, but I love both of them. They easily win using either strategy. You just got to land your picks. This whole notion, you got to have a certain formula just because people have won with it. Like, maybe the people doing these other approaches have not nailed their picks. They have not drafted the right players to go along with their heavy, massive running back stable. Like, my favorite teams have a little bit more running back weight to it than they have wide receiver weight. That's the way that I feel the value is because you're drafting against traffic and drafting against the grain. Everybody's going wide receiver, picking position. And I'm sitting there looking at the RBs and I'm like, what in the hell? Like, why is this guy still here? I'm taking him. I don't care if I need a wide receiver. I'm taking the RB and I'll go get my.
I'm going strong running back. It depends on how the draft falls, but I go strong running back. It's just it doesn't work out to where I'm getting a lot of Breece Hall. I'm getting a lot of Bijan. I'm getting a lot of Gibbs. I'm getting a lot of Najee. I'm getting a lot of not Dillon, but Dobbins. I'm getting Stevenson. I'm getting those guys, and I'm not getting a lot of Breece because he just doesn't fall in line with what I'm drafting at the time.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
I
From
get it.
running back.
I get it. But I'm just saying it doesn't. That's not the only way. But I get it.
It's just for me, he hasn't fallen to where I've picked him up a lot.
Yeah. Marsman Terry on the line. Marsman Terry on the line. Mars, what's up? What's up, Marsman?
Hey, what's up? And on my end, I've been getting Hall a lot on the underdog fantasy draft.
Yeah.
I've been getting Hall a lot, but I've been drafting him kind of early because I've been drafting with all you guys, so I know better.
Yeah,
So,
you definitely do some drafts outside of the community so that you're getting your value on Hall because he's going in the third round. He shouldn't be. No one should be taking Hall in the second round. He's not. He's not going
Outside
in.
of our drafts, he's always been going on the third. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not. That's not true, Don Army.
Don says
I like
Ron
Breece.
doesn't like.
I drafted him much.
Well, you need more of them. You need to get some shares. Jacob,
I
appreciate.
I just don't have a bunch of them.
Jacob, appreciate your super chat. Let's see here. What else?
There's certain guys that you get shares for. I've noticed that you like guys, but a lot of times they don't land right. So, yeah, that's what I've noticed.
You know who I like a lot right now, and he's definitely a. We got Gustavo calling in. Gustavo,
Hey,
my guy.
Jimmy, how are you?
Where are you? How's Hawaii, bro? Your boy.
Hawaii,
Go ahead.
Hawaii is beautiful right now. It's hot as hell.
Yeah. When are you coming to the States, bro? Well, I mean, you're the States, but
I actually have a brother in Arizona, man. I'll probably get some vacation time by the end of the year. I want to try to go to Arizona to see an Arizona Cardinal game, man.
No, you don't want to do that.
Diamondback, Arizona Diamondback game.
There you go. You don't want to come to a Cardinal game. They don't have a quarterback. They're just going to hike it straight to the fullback and try and get Caleb. Come a year later when we have Caleb Williams. But hey, appreciate you. Hold on one second. Actually, what do you got, Gustavo? You got a question?
Yeah, I got a question, Smitty. So between the rookie quarterbacks that are this year's draft, which you think has the most value out of the three that went in the first round?
In fantasy football, redraft easily Anthony Richardson because of his rushing ability. Because all rookie quarterbacks are going to struggle from time to time. And Herbert really had one of the better rookie quarterback years. Like even Joe Burrow struggled. And Herbert had a good offense and a lot of weapons. Burrow was evolving his offense. The offense wasn't quite there yet. I think you look at Stroud, he's going to be promising. Like that's going to be the sense you get of his season is promising young rookie coming into his own. 2024 looks bright for the Houston Texans. They're going to be similar to the Lions in that they don't make the playoffs, but they show a little bit of promise, and they've been building Caserio, that whole organization aside from ownership, the general manager, the staff, they know what they're doing. This is a good football team in the making. They're just about a year away. But Stroud's probably not going to light up fantasy football worlds his rookie year. He might show flashes of what's to come and potential and maybe surprises. But Richardson's that guy that even in his offense, even if they struggle and they don't win, he's gonna have running upside just baked into his floor. So and Bryce Young, as much as I love Bryce Young, he's gonna be evolving and developing as well. And I think it's just from a redraft perspective, the only rookie we're starting, and he's not even worth starting in a 12-team 1 QB league yet. He's great as a backup, and then in a super flex he'd be great, is Anthony Richardson for now. Like, could these guys change my mind? I mean, sure. But Richardson's running ability bakes in the floor to where it's like, that guy's going to have 10 points on the ground. Even when he has a bad game. And so that alone is going to put him in he could literally, if he starts all 17 games, he could literally be a top 15 quarterback and have a really rough year. Like, that's just the kind of production you get on the ground.
On one of my leagues, I only got Anthony Richardson and TJ Stroud. I put my draft capital on getting better players, and I'm just banking on Anthony Richardson to be my starter, my number one QB.
Yeah. This news right here, I was going to talk about this before you called in, Gustavo, and say that, I really, really like Luke Musgrave if we're talking rookies right now. Just a big body that potentially could get utilized really early on and build rapport with a young quarterback and kind of develop that rapport together from the jump. He's definitely a nice player to keep an eye on, but he might be very sporadic this year, as most rookies are, and this might be more of a 2024 move, or you make it for 2024, but keep an eye on him. Vampy celebrating 14 months as a YouTube exclusive member, putting the rocket emojis in his message here. Appreciate you, Vampy, and all you do, my man. Let's go over to, I think he hung up. We had somebody else on the line. I think it was Frankie or Freddie. Frankie, someone was there and they hung up. Bottom three teams this year: Raiders, Cardinals, Rams. Earlier I said Raiders, Cardinals, Bucks. But Rams could certainly be there if their quarterback situation falls apart again. We'll just have to see what happens with Stafford if he's healthy. If Stafford falls off, then absolutely. Ron, you like Musgrave, right?
Yeah, I like him. Where you can get him, you get him like in the last round, either round 17 or 18. Yeah, I like him down there. You get him basically for free.
Yeah.
See what he does.
Gustavo, you got anything else?
No, nothing else, Smitty. Thank you very much for having me on the show. I appreciate it, man.
Hey,
what you're doing, man.
Tell your boy Scotty Dew we appreciate him. He's been calling in a lot, and we've been saying, where's Gustavo? We're like, where? And he's like,
oh, man. I work with him in the same company where I work in the mornings now. He works at night now. When he's probably calling, I'm probably sleeping, man.
Are you guys still able to get a good karate set in the play karate in the garage once in a while?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
I see him when he comes in. I'm already to go out already. I'm already
man. That
done
sucks.
my shift. So
Are you guys are best buddies, right? You guys are best buddies, right?
Yeah, we just did 2 drafts during the weekend. We just drafted, and pretty good, man. We always calling. I was like, hold on, I got to watch Smitty. So I'm home right now watching him. I'm going to call him up and tell him I was alive with Smitty the man.
Yeah, attaboy. You tell him to watch 1 hour and 37 minutes and 40 seconds. We'll call it 1:37. He should watch at 1 hour 37 minutes. We're going to give a standing ovation for Gustavo and for Scotty Dew and everybody in Hawaii. All right, here we go. There you go, pal. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Smitty. Have a good one.
All right, later. Terry, you saw Ryan Hollins shout you out, right? Yeah, he did.
No, when was this? Oh my God, when?
Yeah, I remember Terry. Oh my God, Terry, take a breath. Yeah, go check it out. It's I'll try and find the link for you. But yeah, he I forget what did he do, Vampy? Awesome. I forget why he did it. What did we do? Why did he do that? Didn't Terry super chat or something? I thought that's why he would have saw it, but I don't remember. But go watch it. Yeah, I'll find the link for you, Terry. I think it's got a picture of Ryan on the image, the thumbnail. It might be a ways back.
What?
But...
Was it on IG or was it?
No, here on YouTube. He came on the YouTube show.
Oh, he did it. Okay.
Yeah.
Did I miss it? I thought I was there live with him the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great guest, man. I'm like, say what? He's the Rockets commentator. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's good. Appreciate you,
man.
Terry. I super chatted and said, oh, that's right. Vamp super chatted and said that Terry Roberts was a big fan And he says something. He says something about Terry. It was good. Terry, you'll like it. Go rewatch it. Stormcat, appreciate you being here.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for letting me know, Smitty.
Yeah, Space Ricky celebrating 11 months lonely here on the JT Island. Smitty says Space Ricky. I hear you, and I don't think you're alone. I think a lot of people like JT, and his ADP's high. So I mean, you're clearly not alone. His ADP. Let me pull up Underdog Fantasy ADP on him. It's not bad. He's going like in the, what is he, like 12, 13, 14? JT is going 13.8 overall. So you're not alone. Maybe in this chat you feel alone, but people are drafting him. I mean, we like him in the second round, but I don't like him as a first rounder. I don't like him as the first round. And then when we saw comments about in Dynasty JT over Gibbs, I had to lay into that a little bit because Gibbs is just a better option. Just in my opinion, a much better option. But that's me. I'd probably rather have Kenneth Walker. No, I know for a fact I'd rather have Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet over JT if I could have the combo. But even if you broke apart the duo and you gave me just Kenneth Walker in a Dynasty, I'd probably rather have Kenneth Walker over JT. I just don't know how much time JT has in Dynasty. It's not like he's an old guy, but you start missing time. You start getting, questionably ranked this early on in your career. We're clearly worried about him being an elite player for a long period of time. But I do like JT. I definitely have drafted him in a bunch of underdog drafts. I've taken him in the second round. Second round's good, but I wouldn't take him in the first round. I'd rather take a wide receiver. I'd rather take, obviously, Bijan. I'd rather take... I guess I'd ask this question. Ron, do you like Olave or JT? I know JT's ADP is higher than Olave's, but like if push came to shove and you couldn't factor in ADP or anything, would you rather have Olave or JT?
Olave.
Would you rather have St. Brown or JT?
St. Brown.
Would you rather have Tony Pollard or JT?
Pollard.
Okay, so JT's really low for you then. Like you probably wouldn't take him in 14, 15. I think you've maybe said that before.
I haven't taken any JT this year. I haven't drafted him at all.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense then. JT says the Bruce. JT says Jeremy. He's taking JT over Olave over St. Brown, it sounds. JT has been dropping. He used to be going around 9. Yeah, and that's probably why I didn't draft him at all in round 1 when he was like in the 11, 10 territory. But now that he's fallen out of round 1, I feel like he's got a lot better upside. JT at 13, but Gibbs where? Gibbs is going in at the, let's see, Gibbs' ADP is, it's amazing too. It's fantastic. His ADP is great. Jahmyr Gibbs' ADP is...
Bruce ignores me in our voicemail league.
He does?
Yeah. He don't respond for nothing.
Bruce.
At least not to me.
Bruce, get on that.
I think he don't like me.
You don't like him? You don't like Ron? Bruce? Hey, Gibbs' ADP's 39. It's climbing. Gibbs' ADP's 39. He's climbing. That is breaching mid-third round territory. And so we're definitely going to start seeing him go at 3.1, 3.2, 3.3 very, very soon. I think Jahmyr Gibbs will only climb, and we need to be very careful not to initiate that climb earlier than it has to be. He will soon be in the late second round. And I've said that from the beginning of the offseason. Like everyone's like, he's fourth rounder. He's going to be a second rounder. So start getting all your Gibbs in round 3 shares while you can get it. Because he sometimes falls to round 4 still. But it's rare. And I have to take him in round 3 now. Because usually if my pick isn't like 4.1, I know I'm probably not going to get him. So mid-third to late-third, Jahmyr Gibbs. But I love Gibbs, so that's where Gibbs is going. JT on a contract year. Yeah, I mean, that could be good or bad. Could be good or bad. Terry, episode was 12 days with Ryan Hollins. Smitty put Ryan on the thumbnail with Devontae Adams, so go check that out, Terry. JT over 2, maybe 3. JT over 2, maybe 3. I don't know if Bruce is saying how many years he has left, but that sounds like it could be right. ETN falling, good for us. Yeah, I just want to clarify. Like, everyone thinks I don't love ETN. I love ETN. I love ETN. But there's just a little bit of caution when you draft him is all. You got to maybe cuff him to Tank Bigsby just to be safe. The fact that they do, Peterson does have a running back by committee mentality. You have to expect that. But like I've said for the entire offseason, everybody's just assuming his PPR work isn't going to increase because of what he did in what was technically his rookie year. Last year was ETN's rookie year, essentially. And ETN didn't get as involved in the passing game as we would have wanted, given he is probably a top 5 PPR capable player in the National Football League. He really is. He's got the skill set to be a top 5 pass catcher in the National Football League, and the Jaguars refused to give him the football. But I think part of it is because it was like his rookie year. And if his run gets dialed back a little bit, why is everybody assuming he's not going to, make up for that in catching some footballs? And with the rapport between these two, you're talking about Trevor Lawrence and ETN playing together in college. It's not like they don't have a connection that they can play catch. They can definitely play some catch. And I believe the key to ETN being a top 5 running back lies in, does he get not a little uptick in receiving production, but a nice bump. If he gets a nice bump and he stays similar to his, they dial him back a little bit to keep him healthy, but he gets similar rushing production, he's a top 5 to 7 running back. But if he gets dialed back in the run and they don't throw to him, he has the risk factor of falling out of the top, 10 running backs, top 12 running backs, and being a complete disappointment. There is disappointment potential there for ETN. You just have to understand the risk, be willing to take it on, safeguard it as much as you can by getting Bigsby, Tank Bigsby is a monster, and maybe he gets the goal line work. You're going to protect yourself by getting him. If ETN went down, Bigsby would probably be the 3 down back. They would use him that way because he's such a tough runner, and you trust him when you give him the football. He's gonna grind out 2-3 yards harder than anybody on the team. So I like Bigsby a lot. You got to cuff the two. You got to understand the risk involved, but don't write off ETN as a capable top 5 running back. He certainly could be. Monty, let's see. We got another caller here. I'm gonna start winding down here. This one is from Prince from Philly. What's up, Prince?
Hey, how you doing, Smitty?
I'm good, bro.
So, I just had a draft, and I made some trades as well, and I just wanted you to grade my team, if that's good with you.
All right, let's grade this team. Go ahead and hit me with it.
Wonderful. I've got Jalen Hurts, Bijan, Swift, Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Goddard, Mingo, and DJ Moore is my starting.
Okay.
So this is a one flex and another QB flex league. So you can start 2 QBs on your starters.
And
so I've got I'm sorry, say that again?
Yeah, who's your QB then? Your second QB?
My second QB is Jordan Love.
Okay.
And then I've got basically the Eagles running backs and Rashad Penny and Gainwell. And I've got Deuce Vaughn.
Okay. I like your team.
Wonderful. And I've also got Mingo, Nico Collins, Alec Pierce, and Tank Dell and Laporta.
Yeah, I like it, bro. I mean, Bijan, you got the Philly backfield locked up, which that makes it a lot less risk for you because they probably, even though they could rotate who the starter is based on who's healthy, you will have potentially a guy we know what we're looking at each game unless they get hurt in the middle of the game. JJ, Garrett Wilson, can't get better than that. Goddard, Hurts, I like the stack. I'm not as into in non-best ball. Is this best ball or this is just a regular redraft?
These are regular.
Or did you say dynasty or redraft?
Yeah, dynasty.
Dynasty, okay. Yeah, I'm not as huge on stacking multiple players. Like, two's fine. Like, Hurts and his wide receiver Hurts. So you have a lot of riding on Philly. But the great thing about Philly, and whenever you do overstack in redraft, because it's not the same in best ball, having 3 guys on one team's not looked at as a good thing in normal fantasy. In best ball, it's different. But in this situation, the odds of the Eagles having a bad statistical game are a lot lower than most teams. So this would be the team to do it. But you do run the risk of if they don't have as potent of a game, you end up getting smashed. But you've got so much other talent to help support it. I think you'll be okay. I like Jordan Love a lot as your QB2. Mingo's very intriguing, but he could be slow starting, so temper expectations there. DJ Moore, I like a lot. I think DJ Moore could surprise. So this is a really good team. This is a really good team. I'd explore maybe some future first-round picks with DJ Moore or Mingo to try and get into like a London or a Watson and just kind of top this thing off. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be hunting for Watson. I'd be hunting for London. I'd be out there, trying to turn Swift and DJ Moore and a future first-rounder into Jahmyr Gibbs. I'd be trying to, just get that slight upgrade without touching Hurts, without touching J.J. Garrett Wilson. Even like a Love and future first rounder to upgrade Love into a doubted Joe Burrow or something like that, which is going to be hard to do. But Joe Burrow on Underdog Fantasy dropped to QB6. He dropped to QB6 right now. Oh, he just climbed back up. What in the hell's going on? Yeah. He just climbed back up. He fell below. No, wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's there. Yeah, never mind. He's still there. 43 overall, 43.5 overall. Joe Burrow, which is crazy to me. Let me share this on the screen. I'm not saying these other guys aren't great and aren't deserving. Anthony Richardson climbed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, QB 10. Wow. Wow. That is insane. I'm not saying he can't necessarily earn that, but that is such a high value for a rookie quarterback that you don't even know for sure if he's starting week 1. Probably will, but that's crazy. Look at this right here, though.
And one of my other drafts, I actually traded him for Justin Jefferson. So
that's great.
Yeah, he's going for
that's a great move. Yeah, the value is insane for Richardson right now. Okay, so here's the QB ADP data, which I'm going to do a weekly ADP show off the Underdog ADP, which is the best ADP Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Link is let me drop the link in the live chat right now. It's in the description of every video. But we're going to be drafting on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty tomorrow night, every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So make sure you click this link right now. Use promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $100. But if we look at where were we? We're on the screen. We look at this ADP on Underdog, and these are paying entries. Every single person's paying money to play in a contest, so they're finishing out the entire draft. You're not getting into a stupid mock draft where everybody bails after 5 or 6, rounds, and then because they started the draft, that is counted toward ADP. The computer-controlled teams don't count toward ADP typically on a platform that generates ADP data. But when a user initiates the draft and then it goes into auto draft after, let's say, round 5, that draft still gets counted and lumped into the ADP data in most cases. And so it's bad ADP data just piling on top of bad ADP data because the computer's taking over the team. Yeah. So this ADP data is the only ADP data to use. Even if best ball is a little different than regular redraft, it still has many more pros than cons to use it as your one-stop source. So I'm going to do a show on Underdog ADP data, do it weekly, and cover it from different angles. It won't just be the same show. It'll be like, let's talk quarterback ADP. Let's talk wide receiver ADP. Let's talk sleeper steals at ADP. Let's talk overvalued ADP. I'm going to hit it from a different angle every week so it's something fresh. But this right here is going to be show number 1 this week. Maybe tonight I'll do it for a premiere tomorrow. But Joe Burrow, number 6 overall for quarterbacks is fantastic. And Lamar Jackson leapfrog Fields, and Lamar is now QB number 4. Not saying it's not possible or that this is more about the Burrow than it is about hating Lamar, but that's fantastic value right there. I love it. So my point was, sorry to be so long-winded on that, is that Jordan Love and a future first rounder, Jordan Love and a couple first rounders, not that crazy to think you could maybe land Burrow, who's now QB6 to people.
Okay. Do you think I should trade for a running back like a Dameon Pierce who's on the trading block in my league?
I mean, I think...
You think I should stay put?
It depends what you got to give up, but if you're like just swapping out the Eagle backfield for Dameon Pierce, is like, they're both 6th round, 7th round material. You've got the whole Eagle backfield locked up, so you're kind of avoiding some risk. We got a $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
We got a $50, we got a $20+ super chat, $50 hauler from Space Ricky, who says JT 1,500 total yards and 15 TDs. That is Space Ricky. We got to put it on the board. Space Ricky. Okay. So Space Ricky says 1,515. Is that what he says? 1,515. Where is it?
For who?
For JT.
Ooh.
1,515 in 2023. Space Ricky. 531. Space Ricky. JT. That's a bold one. 1,500 yards and 15 TDs. That will put him at running back 1.
Yeah.
That would be running back 1. Space Ricky, appreciate you. To the moon, pal.
To the moon.
For dropping a $50 hauler bold prediction. Let's go, Smitty. We Scott Fishbowling. Bennett, are you in my draft in Scott Fishbowl? So I haven't officially announced this yet. I'm going to be doing an announcement. Might as well tell you guys now, and I've kind of hinted to it before, but your boy has been asked to do the first ever Scott Fishbowl live stream during the draft. And so I'm flying to Vegas on July 15. I've told you I'd be there on July 15. July 15, I'll be at Circa Sports out by the pool, where they've got that huge big screen TV at Circus Sports. It's the best place to like hang out by the pool and watch football, watch whatever. And so I'll be out there live streaming, and I'll be live streaming my draft. And I don't know if Bennett is saying he's in my league. Bennett's in my league. Bennett's in my league. Bennett, is that how you found me? Bennett, you saw me in your league and you're like, I gotta go check this guy out. Bennett, to the moon. Bennett, to the moon.
To the moon.
Bennett, let's go. I'll be live streaming. I don't know if Bennett even knows that. Bennett just saw me, I think, in his league, Scott Fishbowl, one of the biggest charity, fantasy football things. I'll be buying you a drink. Let's go. Are you going to be there in Vegas with me live? You got to be, because you got to be drafting live. That'll be awesome, Bennett. I'll see you there, pal. Yeah, so we'll be live streaming the entire draft. I'll be live streaming like 5 hours straight from Vegas. So it'll be fun. And if anybody's in Vegas on July 15th, come see me and we'll hang out. We'll do our little meet and greet thing that we've talked about wanting to do for so long. So plan for it. Anybody wants to go to Vegas, July 15th, I'll be there at Circus Sports. Let's go. You've been watching on and off for a while. Awesome, Bennett. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. All right, hey, I'm going to wrap this up. Marsman Terry Roberts, final thoughts.
Congrats on making it to the Fishbowl, Smitty. Going to Vegas and all. That's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be a fun time.
I'm happy for you, brother.
Yeah, I like helping out. I told Scott, I definitely, would love to, live stream for him and do some kind of promotion to get more charity for the kid. Russian collusion dropping a $20.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Russian dropped a 50 spot. Russian dropping fire tonight.
Alert.
Alert.
Super chat alert.
Okay. Russians prediction is as follows. Russian says, Smitty, Russian again. Late to the party. I'm sure it's been a great show. I'll watch tomorrow. You're the bomb. Bull prediction. T-Law will have 4,800 yards and 35 TDs. Wow. Okay. 4,800 yards, 35 TDs. Collusion. Okay. 531. 531 Russian. T-Law. 4,800 and how many? What, 4,835?
35.
4,800.
That
Wow.
sounds realistic to me. Sounds
That's
realistic
bold,
to me.
Rush.
I like that. I like that.
I mean, 35 is not that much, though, compared to like 40, 45.
I like that. I like that prediction. By the way, I'm going to wait.
The moon men dropping loads in outer space.
I'm going to wait. You may know what I'm trying to hint at right here, but we have a couple Moon Men predictions to come. And it's about time. Let's just say that. It's about time, and this $50 hauler will make Russian happy. So, bull prediction on the way. I've got 2 or 3 more that are going to drop, and we'll lock them in. I don't know, lock them in. I mean, lock them in loosely. Unless something happens, we'll move one out. But as soon as the season starts, the Moon Men lock in. The Mars Men lock in. Look at this Mars Men list.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men.
Gibbs, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Chase Burrow, Bijan Olave.
Dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
Part of me wants to put Walker. I think, Ron, you're right. I did take Walker off initially. Part of me wants to put Walker right back on. I still think Walker, Charbonnet together. They're on the Moon Men list, so I don't feel like we're leaving them out of anything, but I don't know. It does feel like a strong list. I don't know if I want to mess with it. Russian collusion to the moon. All right, Terry, I'll see you later, pal.
All right, Smitty.
Did I answer your
Good
question?
show, brother.
What was your last question? Did I answer it?
What's that?
Did I answer your question?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Okay. All right, thanks, Terry.
All right.
Yep. Prince from Philly, final thoughts? Anything else you had with your trade?
Cool. No, you answered pretty much everything. I just want to give you congratulations on going to Vegas. And question, who is your MVP next season?
Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts? Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm not sure who yet.
Have a great night.
All right, man. Prince, appreciate you from Philly. Take it easy, pal.
Thanks, man.
Ron Navy, final thoughts. Marsman Ron. Hello?
Oops, sorry. I was taking my blood pressure.
Oh, is it good? Is it high?
No, it's been low. It was like earlier it was 105 over 70.
Is it too low? Because we can start talking Kenny Pickett if we need to get you up to a higher blood pressure if it's too low. I don't want to go into any dangerous territory.
No, it's okay. Right now it's 113 over 78, so I'm good.
I mean, we can start talking Kenny Pickett. We can do some hand measurements live on stream.
Actually, that won't do it. When you start talking Swift, that might do it.
Yeah. Kenny Pickett, I still stand by Kenny Pickett's hand size not being, what was it, his hand size again? Was it not, or what was it? Somebody look it up again. What is it? Kenny Pickett's hand size. We went over this, and I defended Kenny Pickett. I said, his hands are not that small. Kenny Pickett hand size. 8 and 5. Well, shouldn't say it's not small. It's not huge at all. But I think they measure it here. And 8 and 5 inches. I'm about 9. If this is how you measure it, I'm not sure if this is how you measure it, but my hands are huge. When I go up to an average person and put my hands are huge, and mine are only 9. You know, so like his hands are not that small, but comparatively, he's got smaller hands than the average quarterback, which is what they say.
It doesn't affect them at all.
But it's a funny topic for sure. I mean, people get all crazy about it. And doesn't Patrick Mahomes, what's Patrick Mahomes' hand size? Patrick Mahomes' hand size, 9 1/4. Okay, so he's a little bit. That could be. I don't think mine are 9 1/4. Mine are 9, and I'm a little over 9, like 9 and like maybe 1/10 or something like that. Okay, so let's see. Joe Burrow, hand size 9 inches exactly. Joe Burrow and I have the same hand size. I'm in good company. 9 inches. Exactly. Drew Brees was 9.7.
Aren't you old enough to actually be Joe Burrow's father?
No, we're kind of like distant brothers, like where parents got divorced, half brothers. Dad got excited again about one of the new ladies, and then they had another unexpected child. That was Joe Burrow. That was basically how that happened. Brother Joe. Oh. Smitty, how do we need? Okay, hold on. We got 2 super chats here. Russian dropped a $10 hauler on screen. Russian says, Smitty, you should put us Marsmen on a screen like the Marsmen NFL players. Definitely in the cards. No pun intended. The Marsmen card holders will be on screen eventually. The Moonmen card holders will be on screen eventually. So hang tight on that. That's definitely going to happen. Appreciate you dropping a super chat. All $10
to the moon
haulers get a moonshot. Garrett dropping a $2 hauler. Everybody drop the eggplant gorilla 600 emoji right now because that's Garrett's. Garrett has the highest super chat in a single live stream. That is this man right here. So please drop your gorilla eggplant 600 emoji right now on behalf of Garrett because that is Garrett's emoji. He is currently the holder. Been bugging you for months about Law Dog Moon Man. I know there's only so many we can squeeze on at a time, Garrett, so it's an unveiling, but hang tight on that. You'll be excited about it. I think the Law Dog throws 40 plus touchdowns. I think he throws 40 plus touch. Even if it's 38 and he runs for 4 or 5, he's soaring over 40 total. He's going to have 45 total touchdowns pretty easily, I think. Adding in Ridley, Law Dog's going to be impressive. And like I've said from the beginning of time, came out of the womb saying this, I believe, is that if there's any quarterback capable of having a 4-touchdown game, like back-to-back, or having the most 4+ touchdown games during a season, Law Dog's up there. He's up there. He's just that kind of guy. He's that kind of guy who could go out and throw 240 yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns in one game. Just one of those like surgeon-type games where he goes out there, he's on the 15-yard line, throws a missile in the end zone. Get the ball back. They're on the 12-yard line. Throws another missile right into the end zone. Has a 4 or 5 touchdown game. It could have probably the most, in the top 2 or 3 of the most multiple or 4 or 5 touchdown contests in the season. I love Law Dog. All right, Ron, appreciate you. I'll see you later.
Hey, how many cha-chas have you done so far?
None yet. I will. When are they closing?
Soon. They're over 3,000 out of 5,000 entries. So
yeah, I gotta get a couple in there. I'll start one tonight. They're slow, right?
Well, you can do slow or fast.
Okay.
Or,
I'll probably have to do I'll sit down tonight and I'll blast through a chow chow. All right. Yeah. I'll see you all later.
I've done 5. So
5. Okay. All right, Ron. Appreciate you, man.
Later.
I'll see you all later. I probably won't be going live tonight, but I might do some sort of video that could post tonight, or it'll post tomorrow as a premiere. I don't know if it's going to be the ADP video. I don't know if it's going to be 2 videos. One might be on a Moon Man. One might be on the ADP. and we'll have to see. Appreciate all the super chats today. You guys absolutely rock. Space Ricky dropping the super chats. The Vampy saying, how can I get a Marsman card? Vampy, they're all gone and they're scooped up already. The Marsman and the Moonman cards are already out. But Vampy, email me and I'm going to get you into the next little thing that we do to make sure you're a part of it. Appreciate you, Vamp. These went so quick, both these cards. 12 Moonman spots and the Marsman cards, only 11 because your boy is in it too, so it's 11 spots. There was 23 total. Vamp needs to know. I appreciate Vamp. Vamp's the man. Falcons' second easiest schedule this year, says Daddy Dennis. Okay, super chats. Wolford dropping a 50 wad. Vamp, Garrett, Russian collusion. Appreciate you all. Let me do this on the out screen and show all the super chatters. Appreciate you all. I'll see you potentially tonight for a premiere, but it might be tomorrow. I'm not drafting tonight. I'll see you all later. All right, thank you all for the super chats. You guys absolutely rock. Especially appreciate Live 85 last night. Live 85. I'm gonna keep him on the screen for Live 85 dropping so many super chats last night. He was the man. Vampy dropping a $2. Garrett dropping a $2. Russian dropping a $10. Russian dropping a $50. Space Ricky dropping a $50 hauler. Vampy dropping a $2. Jacob dropping a $5. Isaac dropping a $4.99. Paul dropping a 50 watt on screen. Johnny Not Bravo dropping a $2 hauler. Garrett, $2. Paul, $5. Sir Isaac kicking it all off with the $2 hauler at the beginning of the show. The Isaac says, I want in too, Smitty. I wish there were spots for the Moonman card. Email me in terms of the next little thing, Isaac, and I'll get you in there. Max, great stream, Smitty, says Max. Vampy, appreciate you. How can we get a Mars card? I wish there were cards left. Vampy, email me, and I'll get you in on the next situation. I might have wrote you down as a potential Moonman card, but I don't know. I think you're on the wait list. I put you down there just because I knew you wanted one, but I don't know if we'll have to see if there's a person or two that doesn't follow through. There's a little wait list, and I'll see where you're at on that. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I couldn't do what I do without you. And here's my schedule during the off season. I'm live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That is this show you're watching right now. We've been 2 hours and 12 minutes in. Live whenever news breaks. Whenever big news breaks, I go live. Even if it's like an hour later, usually about 5 or 10 minutes after. You know, I'm getting ready. I'm getting the graphics ready, and I go live, and I break it down. Even if it's midnight. But sometimes I'm a little late, but it's all about explaining the news. It's not about breaking the news. It's about everybody heard what happened. Where's Smitty? What's Smitty thinking? I go live and I explain my thoughts. That's what it means to go live whenever news breaks. That's what we do. If something big happens, something huge, I want you to think, God, I'd love to hear someone talking about this right now. Somewhere we can congregate, and this is what we do. We go live whenever news breaks. I'm live every single Thursday, Friday, Saturday at midnight Eastern. I'm live every Tuesday at midnight Eastern. So Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at midnight Eastern. Panic Chamber on Tuesdays. Live drafts 3 days in a row. When do we draft, Smitty? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Hey, Smitty, are we going to draft? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Midnight Eastern. I'll see you all later. Overcome the app will draft on will probably be sleeper.
The Four Horsemen. Drafting Chase in round 1. Hall in 2. Burrow in 3. London in 4. Try Gibbs in 3. Burrow in 4. Wilson in 2. No problem. Combinations of these monsters will give your league mates nightmares, especially Bijan 1. Alavi 2. Burrow 3. And Gibbs 4. Don't lie. You just made an oopsie in your pants, didn't you? Ride for horses at the same time. The Four Horsemen.
Got him.